Welcome to View Harbor, where we dive into the most interesting, unexpected, and mind blowing topics on the internet. Today, we're counting down the top 10 things you probably didn't know about Michael Jackson. So, whether you think you already know everything about the King of Pop, or you're just curious to learn something new, stay tuned, because some of these might surprise you. Starting off at number 10, you probably know him for his voice and legendary dance moves. But what a lot of people don't realize is that he also used beatboxing as a creative tool when developing rhythm ideas for his music.
I'll take that and use that as the main foundation for the track and build all the sounds around that. What I'm saying?
At number 9, we have Michael Jackson's iconic single glove. It was first seen on March 25th, 1983, during the Motown 25 television special, where he performed Billie Jean and introduced the moonwalk to a global audience. The glove was designed by costume designer Bill Witten, originally made from a modified golf glove and covered in hand-stitched crystals to reflect stage lighting and highlight his hand movements during performances. While it became one of his most recognizable fashion statements, some people have also associated it with his changing appearance due to vitiligo, a skin condition that causes loss of skin pigment in patches, though the glove itself was never officially confirmed as having a medical purpose. He wore it only on his right hand and famously said that one glove looked cool, but two would be too ordinary. What started as a simple costume piece quickly became an iconic symbol of his style and legacy. At number 8, we're clearing up one of the biggest myths in pop culture, that Michael Jackson created the moonwalk. While it became one of his most iconic dance moves, especially after his 1983 Motown 25 performance of Billie Jean, he was not the first person to do it. Variations of the move had already appeared in street dance and stage performances years earlier, influenced by styles like popping and earlier illusion-based choreography. Dancers such as Jeffrey Daniel had already performed similar backslides on television before Michael's performance. What Michael Jackson did was refine it, perfect it, and present it on one of the biggest stages in the world, turning it into a global phenomenon. So while he didn't invent the moonwalk, he absolutely defined how the world remembers it today. At number 7, we're going back to Michael Jackson's early years with the Jackson 5. Before he became the global superstar we know today, Michael grew up in Gary, Indiana, where he was the youngest member of a musical family group formed with his brothers. The group originally included Jackie, Tito, and Jermaine, later joined by Marlon and Michael. Even as a child, Michael stood out for his incredible vocal talent, stage presence, and ability to connect with audiences far beyond his age. Under the strict guidance of their father, Joseph Jackson, the group rehearsed intensely and performed locally before eventually signing with Motown Records in 1969. From there, the Jackson 5 exploded into fame with hits like I Want You Back, ABC, and I'll Be There, and Michael quickly became the breakout star. Even at a young age, his talent and charisma made it clear he wasn't just part of the group. He was destined to become a legend. At number 6, we have Michael Jackson's real voice. A lot of people know Michael speaking in a soft, higher tone almost all of the time, which led many fans to believe that was simply his natural voice. However, behind the scenes, Michael actually had a much deeper speaking voice that close friends, family members, and people who worked with him occasionally heard. Several clips and recordings over the years have shown moments where his voice dropped noticeably lower than what the public was used to hearing. Some believe he intentionally used a softer voice in public as part of his image and to protect his vocal cords as a singer. Either way, hearing his deeper voice surprises a lot of people today because it sounds completely different from the voice most fans remember.
Today, we stand together all around the world, joined in a common purpose to remake the planet into a haven of joy and understanding and goodness. No one should have to suffer, especially our children. This time, we must succeed. This is for the children of the world.
At number 5, we have Neverland Ranch. one of the most famous celebrity homes in history. Most people have heard of Neverland, but many don't actually know why Michael Jackson created it in the first place. Inspired by the story of Peter Pan, Neverland was designed to be more than just a mansion. It was meant to feel like a fantasy world where children could escape reality and experience joy. The property included amusement park rides, a movie theater, a zoo, gardens, and even its own train system. Michael often spoke about feeling like he missed out on a normal childhood due to the intense pressure and fame he experienced with the Jackson 5, and Neverland became his way of recreating the childhood experiences he felt he never truly had. Over time, the ranch became one of the most talked about places connected to his life and legacy, turning into both a symbol of imagination and one of the most controversial chapters of his career. At number 4, we have Michael Jackson's exotic animals. While most people know about his famous chimpanzee, Bubbles, many don't realize that Michael owned several unusual animals over the years at Neverland Ranch. The property became home to animals like elephants, giraffes, tigers, flamingos, snakes, and other exotic species, almost like a private zoo. Michael loved animals and often described them as calming and comforting to be around, which matched the fantasy-like atmosphere he wanted Neverland to have. Visitors to the ranch would sometimes see animals roaming the grounds or being cared for by trained staff. Bubbles may have become the most famous, but he was only a small part of the much larger collection of animals that made Neverland feel unlike any other celebrity home in the world. At number 3, we have the time Michael Jackson almost became Spider-Man. During the 1990s, Michael was reportedly a huge fan of Marvel and was seriously interested in playing Spider-Man in a live-action movie. According to multiple reports, he even explored the idea of buying Marvel when the company was struggling financially so that he could help produce the films himself. Michael admired the character's double life and emotional struggles, and many people close to him said he believed he could bring something unique to the role. While the movie never happened, the idea of Michael Jackson playing Spider-Man remains one of the most surprising what-ifs in entertainment history. Imagine a world where the King of Pop also became one of Marvel's biggest superheroes. At number 2, we're looking at something a lot of people don't talk about enough: Michael Jackson's philanthropy. Over his lifetime, Michael Jackson supported and donated to a huge number of charities and causes around the world, often without making it a public focus. He contributed to organizations like the Make-A-Wish Foundation, Children's Hospital Los Angeles, and UNICEF-related initiatives. And he even visited hospitals to meet children face to face. One of his most recognized charitable efforts was his involvement in the Heal the World Foundation, which focused on helping children affected by poverty, illness, and conflict. In 1985, he also co-wrote We Are the World, a charity single that raised millions for famine relief in Africa. Many people saw Michael as a global entertainer, but behind the scenes, he was also one of the most charitable artists in music history, quietly donating and supporting causes throughout his entire career. Michael Jackson is estimated to have donated over $500 million to charity during his lifetime. In 2000, the Guinness Book of World Records recognized him for the most charities supported by a pop star, noting his active support for at least 39 different charitable organizations. At number 1, we have one of the most incredible facts about Michael Jackson's creative process. He was known for hearing songs in his head before they were ever recorded, almost like they were already finished in his imagination. Many people close to Michael Jackson have said that he didn't just write songs, he would fully create them in his mind. Before ever stepping into a studio, he could hear the vocals, instruments, and rhythm all playing together in his head like a finished record. Then, when he went into the studio, he would simply recreate what he already heard perfectly in his imagination. This ability is part of what made him one of the most unique artists in music history. Someone who didn't just perform music, but seemed to fully see and hear it before anyone else ever could. And that wraps up our top 10 facts about Michael Jackson, from things you might have not known existed. From his legendary performances to the myths, the surprises, and the moments most people never knew about. There is no doubt that his life was one of the most fascinating in music history. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe too for more deep dives into the stories behind the world's biggest icons, and comment below what facts surprised you the most.